The Tangent Egg podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Tangent Egg podcast. I'm Seth, and as always with me is John Doe and Swoosh.
Hello. Hello.
And we're kicking this week off with what the fuck is happening with Pokemon?
Yeah. It's not often we get to bitch about a first-party Nintendo title. So,
yeah.
Oh my god, we get to bitch
We're taking this
about
opportunity to bitch.
It's not really first-party, but it may as fucking well be. Like, you don't see Pokemon on anything else short of fucking Pokemon Go, and that's not
Game
really
Freak has been
Pokemon
like... It's like a symbiotic relationship at this point. They keep each other going forever.
It may as well be first-party. But it's not often that you get to bitch about something that should have a Nintendo seal of approval that is fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is the thing. Apparently, and I'll freely admit, I haven't played the game yet. I am getting a copy from a friend who accidentally bought two of the same version instead of two different ones. He's going to let me grab his extra copy of the one he bought. So I will be checking it out at some point soon. But I haven't played it yet, but from what I've heard, the gameplay is not bad, it's actually pretty good, and all that. The biggest issue is the thing runs like garbage.
Yeah.
And that's perplexing, because the last Pokemon game they did, main title Pokemon game they did with Sword and Shield, had very few problems, except some in the Wild Zone where it had some hitching.
Yeah. Frame stuff.
And then you had Arceus, which ran pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I didn't run into any graphical issues with Arceus.
Yeah, so the fact that this one is really fucking up is like, what did you do?
Like, you got to ask, like, did they try and develop a whole new fucking engine for it? Like, because the last couple of games have all looked fairly fucking similar. There hasn't been a whole lot of changes. So, like, what the fuck has caused this issue from previous games? They haven't had these issues. The game looks pretty much the fucking same.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of, and this is kind of a revising of what I used to think. They did Sword and Shield, and it was fine. It was just another Pokemon game.
Yeah.
And then they did Arceus, and I was always under the impression that they went straight from Sword and Shield to Arceus, and then to Scarlet and Violet. I'm starting to think maybe they were going, Sword and Shield, and then they started on development of Scarlet and Violet, and were like, oh, we need some extra time. So they were like, oh, we'll just get a side team to spin off and do this Arceus thing.
Yeah.
And they zeroed in on the Pokemon on the map concept, and we're like, well, we're gonna play with that. Yeah. It's kind of working. It looks good. Let's make a game mostly focused on that mechanic. And while they kept doing Scarlet and Violet, because Scarlet and Violet's like, it's all open world. You don't have like load zones between cities anymore. The game's designed much more as an adventure instead of a hand-holdy trek through the towns. So it seems like it's a big idea that they took a bunch of time to work on, and maybe they did Arceus while they were working on it, which is why Arceus works, because it's a much more pared down concept to do well. And Scarlet and Violet's just like, it's too big.
But that raises more questions. If they've had more time, how did it release in this fucking state? Particularly if they're using the same engine and like the same guts of a previous fucking game.
My main question is entirely, how did it pass QA in this state? Like, were they just not QAing on the Switch?
And like,
is there anything I can think of? Like, did they have a beefed up version?
When the review copies came out, apparently there were a few reviewers that said, we came across a couple of small issues here and there, but they passed it off as maybe it was just review copies. But since it's come out, fuck, you can't go anywhere on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere without just, look at this fucked up thing in Pokemon. Like,
look, the
Titan
best
mode.
example.
I love the Titan mode one that popped up. When you get onto the thing, it just like stretches your character out.
I think my favorite one that I've seen that's an example of how poorly this was done is there's a scene where there's like a group of kids graduating.
Yeah.
Every line back from the front one has less frames of animation.
Yeah.
So it's not even like you get it on a weird angle or there's too much stuff in the scene. This is a cutscene. This is a planned shot.
Yeah.
And it's laggy.
Yeah.
By design, by as far as I can tell, because the front row, buttersmooth animation, and the further you get back, the less animation frames they have.
There's a couple of videos I've seen where there's a section of a cliff, and you can see there's meant to be a path up the cliff to the side of it that's blocked off with a fallen log. I assume you're meant to get a move to be able to cut the log to be able to go up the path. But your little motorcycle Pokemon, if you face it backwards and then jump backwards, you just jump straight up the cliff.
Oh, some fucking Skyrim shit.
So
Nice.
you can jump to the last third of the game from the beginning of the game.
Perfect. There's actually a really fun one that popped up on TikTok. A guy was like, "All right, so I was fishing I was trying to catch a Magikarp or something, and then I fell in the water. And when you fall in the water, it pops you back to land. But it popped into the nearest possible land, which just so happened to be a little island in the middle of that river. He doesn't have a water Pokemon. He has a full team, so he can't do anything there. None of the Pokemon he has can learn surf or fly. And he's like, alright, maybe if I just run back in the water and reset. No, resets him to the island every single time. So he's just stuck on his own private Alcatraz now.
Like, how does shit like that happen? Like, it has to have been fucking tested, surely. They can't have said, we know Pokemon, we're going to release it.
So we can't lose, it's fine, they'll buy it.
An edge case like that guy getting in the perfect spot to accidentally get transported to the island, I can get that slipping through.
Yeah.
There are areas where you can be standing looking at a bunch of empty desks, slightly turn the camera to the right or left, and the people pop in.
Yeah.
But once you bring it back to center, they pop out again. The Z culling is terrible. And you only have to be like a couple feet away for them to be like, that gets no frames of animation. It's doing
And then there's the weird stuff, like every time you throw a Pokeball, it seems to repopulate the world. So everything pops back in again, but so slowly. It's like...
Or that video of they throw a Pokeball and it lands at their feet, and it... I don't know if it's a Diglett or what it is, but suddenly, swing, it's like, oh my god, this game is now NSFW.
The memes from it, though, have been great. Maybe that was the thing, it's like just weird guerrilla marketing, it's like, we make it memeable at the start.
That dumb worm thing gets stupider, because if you, like, they have this new mechanic where they go all crystal, I can't remember what it's called, I think it's terramorphing, and they get a little crown on their head. There's a couple of generic ones and some special ones. The generic one that one gets looks like it's splooging.
They just leaned into that, didn't they? It's like, fuck it, no. This is the penis Pokemon.
But, like, there's also been a lot of cases of people that are running, they get caught on something in the environment, and they just fall straight through the map. And they don't die, they just keep falling. They can look up and see, okay, well, I know there's a cave over there and something over here, and like, far out.
I've seen one where there's a wall that's supposed to keep you from going down a cliff into a big body of water. And you can't jump over it even with your fucking motorbike Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. Except the wall doesn't go all the way to the cliff, so you can sort of nip around the side of it.
God. It feels like a hurried mess, which is a bit strange. They've had time for it, but... They must have been trying, like, fuck, we have to get this out before Christmas. It has to be out before, like, the big Christmas rush.
Yeah.
Fucking release it, like, fucking a day before, like, a week before Christmas. Fuck, you know. Like, do something. Like, this isn't the state that a game like this should be fucking launched in. This is This is almost Cyberpunk again. For fucking Pokemon. Yeah. But it does, like, it does raise the question. It feels
even worse.
Like, do we need a Switch 2? Like...
We do.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It needs a hardware
I've had some discussions with my housemate about this, and I think we have a better idea. Because you're probably not going to be able to make the Switch that much more powerful and keep it portable.
No.
Yeah.
The big question, of course, would be, do we go back to a solid console for the Nintendo stuff and then resurrect the Game Boy? I don't think they're going to. I think they like what the Switch does enough.
Yeah.
What I think they actually need to do is make the dock do the work.
Yeah.
Currently, all the dock does is provide extra power, which does allow the Switch to run better, because you'll often find some of your games will run in a higher resolution and with better detail when it's docked compared to handheld. But that's all it does. I think that a theoretical Switch 2, or maybe even just releasing a dock 2.0, that actually has some hardware in it to supplement the Switch, would be better.
That'd be good, actually. I like that.
Because then you could take games and go, look, man, it's only going to run so well in handheld mode. Look, we're sorry. It's in handheld mode.
Yeah.
Or
You dock that shit, bam, shit looks dope.
Make it a proper hybrid instead of the weird one it is now, where it's like, alright.
Kind of the way, like, you could get those bricks that are like, you plug them into your laptop and then you get the power of a graphics card.
Yeah. That'd be great, actually.
it's a fair idea, but I don't know. Like, if you want to be able to play a game and take it with you, suddenly you can't play any new games away from home because they all need the dock.
Look, I'm not saying, like, you design it around everything, but, like, you couldn't design everything about it being docked.
No. But
But
in
you can
this
definitely
instance,
mitigate
if
some-
you had it as when it's docked, if you had it so it played in 2D, or if it played it in a lesser style, maybe it's a fucking little chibi mode where the fuck it is, but when it's docked, you get the full 3D experience. I think
scale it down.
Yeah, like play it in a slightly different mode where you can, or maybe if the portal mode is your world adventure where you're actually out walking around doing something with it. But if you're at home in the dock, then you can actually play a more in-depth game.
Look, it all comes down to what they want to do with a sequel.
Yeah.
Do they want to make a console? Do they want to keep the handheld? Because if they want to keep it handheld, they can't make it that much more powerful.
No.
Pretty much.
Well,
It's just not going to happen. It's too slim for them to be like, all right, we're just going to jam a, 4090 in here.
They'd have to make it pretty chunky.
that just end up being a 4090 with a little 6-inch screen just tech screwed onto the
Yeah,
front
I know,
of it.
Ooh, perfect.
And I mean, more people are bitching, would rather them increase the battery life anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people would rather, like, oh, don't upgrade it, but give me, like, 5-6 hours of battery life as opposed to 3 or 4. And more power is just going to draw more ability will just draw more power and kill the battery faster. There's no winning with this setup.
Yeah.
It's the exact problem the PSP ran into. We've got all these wonderfully great games that look amazing on our system and they run really smooth, but the thing's got a battery life of 15 minutes.
Yeah. But at some point, they're going to have to do a Switch 2.
Something.
Like, at some point, they're going to need to do something for it.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the point where most consoles get their essentially version 2, your Xbox Series
your
S.
0.5 update.
Yeah, and given that the only upgrade we've had to the Switch is the OLED screen, which didn't make the console more powerful, it just made it look better on the screen. We need something with either more grunt, or you've got to think of some other way to get that grunt into the system.
But, like,
Pretty much.
normally, like, a lot of consoles have, like, the ideal is what meant to be a 10-year fucking life cycle, and like maybe a slight upgrade somewhere in that fucking lifetime. But the Switch is only like 5 years old, 2017 it launched. Like, it shouldn't be getting this bad of an error this early, and it's halfway through. Maybe in a couple of years' time.
Well, see, this is the thing. A lot of games that have come out around Pokemon have run great. I have Bayonetta 3 and that runs fine. Which suggests that it may not necessarily be as much the Switch and more that Game Freak didn't optimize.
Yeah, I don't think it's any
optimized
optimization
it
at all, or any QA at this point.
They sent the
Or they
wrong version
optimized
to
it for
the
something
cartridge
else.
company.
Oh, that would suck.
Oh, wrong gold
Yeah.
set.
This is the 0.81, not the 0.82.
Oh, that would be amazing. I kind of hope that's what happened now.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
One guy who's like, my career is over. I'm just going to go kill the ball now.
Or there's 2 USBs on a desk, and they just, like, intern, go and get the USB and send it to the fucking company. And they just grab the wrong fucking USB.
Intern, go get the gold status of the game, send it to the distributor. It goes and picks up the gold USB.
Yeah. One's got gold written on it, and the other's gold coloured. And they've just got, grab.
That one. That seems likely. That intern is now buried somewhere. But it's just so strange that a flagship game has this level of error. It's very
Absolutely. I don't know. Like, look, I'm still entirely on board for a hardware update. It fucking needs it.
Yeah.
But,
And
this is the worst running Switch game I have ever personally had my hands on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
it's
yeah.
Well, sorry,
From-
I haven't had my hands on this one. I'm
Yes.
going to.
yeah, but like
But all the other games I've ever run on my Switch run really well.
like not like usually Nintendo games don't usually get a whole lot of like post-launch patches to fix little things here and do little things there. Normally, when a Nintendo game launches, it is great to play from day one.
Yeah.
And this is that fallen that fucking far short. Like they need to say something. Like say, "Oh fuck, something fucked up here."
We
Like
couldn't
this is
find
just so
any
far out of the
actual
norm
response
that
from them, could we?
like
I haven't found anything.
if this happened like on a PC game or an Xbox game or fucking a PlayStation game, we'd be like, "Oh, okay, they're fucked up again."
Give it a week, we'll get
Yeah.
a patch.
Yeah, exactly. But this doesn't happen on Nintendo. That's sort of the only reason we're fucking talking about it. That
Yeah,
it's a fucking
Nintendo's always
Nintendo
been
game that's
plug and
fucked
play.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, they've always been like on the ball for this. Like, this is the first time we've seen them properly drop it.
And of course, the fanboys are all like, "Wait for the patch! Wait for the patch! Wait for the patch!"
No,
I don't know if you can patch this.
there are
No.
people who are claiming it's completely fine. Like I've seen online where it's just like, no, it's great, it's great. It's like, are we playing the same game? Are you getting these glitches? Like, oh yeah, we get them. Like,
That's just Nintendo tinted glasses. Like
yeah,
that's just a
Look, I
fanboy.
understand
That's
in
what
this
it is.
world of patch culture that they can see why they think that, but it's like I just like this is a real fuck up. This isn't a smooth it out with a little patch
No.
because there's a bit of a graphics hitch. This is like this to me.
this would be an
and
entire new version essentially.
Oh, yeah.
fucking idiot in his room right here. It feels like a hardware level problem.
Yeah.
You didn't optimize it. You didn't set it up for this setting. That's the
But
problem.
even in that, they'd have to go through, like, go back through and redo parts of the map, redo clipping,
Yeah.
like, redo boundaries and where shit spawns back in. Like, that little story you had where you spawn in on an island. You shouldn't be able to fucking do that. Like, it should put you back where you can access the game from. It shouldn't put you in jail like that. So that island should have been made out of bounds. You shouldn't even be able to fucking fall into the water from that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I don't really think they could go back and fix it
No, I
without
don't think
just
so either.
releasing a whole new version of the game that's fucking fixed and hopefully overwrite everyone's fucking cart. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if they could overwrite the cart or the software that's already on the fucking
I don't
cartridge.
think so. You'd probably just get download to your actual Switch.
Yeah.
And anytime you wanted to play Violet and Scarlet and Violet and not have it suck a big fat dick, you'd have to update fully.
Yeah.
Which also brings in the argument of what happens when the server goes offline.
Yeah.
This game's just balked.
Pretty much.
Or like the whatever copies are out there now of the fucked up version, 5 or 6 years time they might actually be worth something if they go, no, we're only doing digital from now on. Like the last copy of a fucked up game.
Yeah. The game that changed it all.
Yeah.
The game that broke Nintendo.
The game that broke Pokemon.
No, Temtem has
Oh.
that honor.
Oh, look, I'm not gonna lie. If anyone asks me right now, and I again haven't played it, but if anyone asks me right now what they should be playing if they like Pokemon games on the Switch, it'd be go play Temtem.
Yeah.
Don't go play Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah. It's Temtem at least functions.
And has better multiplayer.
Yeah.
I've got Temtem on my Steam account and I don't think I've ever actually booted it up.
If you like Pokemon, it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's surprisingly fun.
I don't think I've ever actually finished a Pokemon game either. I usually play it to a point and it's like, I want to play something else. And then I just never go back.
Yeah, that's fair.
I use them as between games. Like,
Yeah, they work really well like that. But I mean, like, Temtem decided that it wanted, like, by default, all combat is dual fight. They actually have abilities where, like, if one of your Temtem has an ability that if the other Temtem is a particular type, they boost each other, increasing the team combo, which makes sense since the entire game is based off at least using two all the time. You can run the entire campaign in co-op from the start. The co-op is actually really good. It's very fluid. I've played a little with Swoosh. All the locations are much more creative. The Temtem all look really good. I like the typing much better. Pokemon only recently added in the ability to unlearn and learn moves on the fly. Temtem put that in from default.
Yeah.
Even back in the early access when it first launched, they were like, this is a feature.
And it's great. You can just customize your team at any point. Like, yep, done.
Yeah.
In.
Which also means you can customize based around the region you're in. Did you get rid of a bunch of moves because they weren't any good at fighting grass types? Cool. You can put them back on your Temtems that you have right now without going anywhere. Don't need a move reminder. You just do it.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking
Ultimate
cool.
customization.
A lot of the innovations that have come out in new Pokemon games were released with Temtem beforehand. It's like, haha, y'all got spooked.
I'm not gonna lie. I would beat Temtem into every Pokemon fan's face if I could.
Oh, yeah.
Try the alternative. It's a lot better, or at least different. Unlike Pokemon, which has been the same so many games in a row.
Pokemon's very much, would you like to play my dead horse I've beaten the guts out of?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? But what I want from Pokemon is essentially a more adult version of it. Like, still make the kiddie ones, that's fine. But for the love of God, make an adult version of it.
You'll never get it. It'll never happen.
Even just one that accepts that you have played before and doesn't handhold as much.
Never going to happen. Their target demo is too young. They're not going to assume that a 30-year-old will still buy a youth-targeted Pokemon game, and they still get to hit the youth market. That's the only thing they care about.
Yeah.
You'll never get adult Pokemon.
At least
Or
have a
one.
Pokemon game where it says at the front, have you played Pokemon before?
Yeah.
Yes? Then you actually get a standard difficulty from the start. Like, you actually get to play. You can maybe skip part of the tutorial. It's just like a story cutscene where it's like, bang, 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 story, pick your Pokemon, now fuck off and into it. And
Yeah.
not just, okay, now go over here and talk
They
to this
are
person.
drifting closer to that with Scarlet and Violet. They've gone completely open world with, you basically just get a bunch of quests to go do. They're not holding your hand being like, now go to, Viridian City, because it's the only place you can fucking go. They're basically letting you loose in a world. Unfortunately, it's not super realized, so I don't know. One of the big questions right now is this game has some cool ideas, but are they going to abandon them on the next one because of this poor reception and try something like go back to the old way? Or will they be like, okay, this didn't work, but it's a good idea, we should definitely like reiterate and try again?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting them to.
I'd be curious to see, like, if they, like, the next game that comes out, for how poorly optimized this one is, like, how long it actually takes them to release another one. Like, if it goes through considerably more fucking stringent testing and we don't get another Pokemon game for quite a fucking while. Like, it's going to take a while to fix this. Like, normally you get them, like, every few years. They're going to have to do
It's
something
going to
with
be
this.
longer this time. Yeah, we're not going to see a new one for a while, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
So, yeah.
So, I mean, moving on, but still using Pokemon. There's a recent incident happened where an NFL linebacker retired after selling a rare Pokemon card for $650,000.
That's retirement money. Like,
What card was it, though?
The Pokemon Illustrator card in Japanese. I don't know what it fucking does.
Magic.
Because
Apparently,
I'm not
it's to
in-
retire. It's the only card in the deck.
Yeah, apparently. You can
Play this card
you can
to
retire on
retire.
this card.
well, apparently, like, with NFL players, like, there's a pretty fucked up statistic where, like, 80% of them are bankrupt within 2 years of retiring because they haven't learned anything of how to save money. They're just given these ridiculous fucking paychecks, and it's like, go for gold. Oh, you broke.
Well, from what I understand, like, a lot of recruitment, and particularly for things like NFL, like, it starts back when they're coming out of high school.
Yeah.
They're being, like, handed, like, thousands of dollars regularly.
Yeah. All through
and if you
college,
did
all through
that-
fucking everything. Yeah.
Yeah, imagine you did that, like, I don't know what the average age of an NFL player bit is, but just for the sake of the discussion, let's say you had that happen all the way up to 30.
yeah.
And you've never once had to worry about a paycheck. There's another couple grand coming. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could absolutely believe that, like, 2 years after the money spigot stops, you'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
one of
things that used to
the
be a
oldest
thing with-
players who should have retired several years ago is Tom Brady. He's in his 40s. And, like, he retired, and then they auctioned off his, like, last game ball, and then just after they made the sale, he said, I'm going to play another season now. Like, that's a bit of a dick fucking move. And even he didn't fucking retire, and he's in his fucking 40s.
Yeah.
But you sell
Also,
one
this
Pokemon
guy-
card.
I mean, the guy who sold the Pokemon cards dipping out at 28.
Yeah.
Fair.
But
I mean,
surely he's
it makes
only
sense.
retiring from football. Surely he's going to go off and do something.
Oh, yeah,
Buy a
he'll do
fucking car
something else.
dealership or fucking something he can put his face on. So I played NFL.
I mean,
Buy shit from
it
me.
used to be a thing here in Australia where, like, AFL and everything, you had to have a trade, like, knocked in.
Yeah.
It was part of their contracts. They had to learn a trade at the same time, so that when they were done with footy, they would be able to do something else. Like,
That
the
went by
AFL
the
always used to
wayside when
set
they,
them up for it.
or they did with that with AFL and the NRL here, but that
Mm.
went by the wayside when contracts started getting bigger and bigger, and they wanted to guarantee you wouldn't get injured on a work site. You could still play footy on the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think this article that I've been reading, I think their final tagline is the best. They're referring to this guy having left because he stated that he's leaving to focus on his family and future passions.
Good luck to him.
And they point out that in his future passions, he's far less likely to suffer a terrible concussion while buying rare Pikachu cards online.
Absolutely good luck to him. If you can get a concussion buying
Yeah,
Pokemon
absolutely.
cards, you're being too active in that fucking sale.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, getting out at 28 when you've made some solid cash and then getting this as your windfall,
Yeah.
Solid
that's
plan.
pretty good for an NFL player. Some of those guys who've made it through, they're fucked
Yeah,
up.
lucky to have
Yeah.
fucking 3 brain cells, let alone fucking $650,000 Pokemon card.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, there's been a few like studies that have come out where it's like, yeah, no, these guys, like anyone from the previous generation of footballers who have retired, they're now getting like dementia-like symptoms a lot earlier.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, who'd have thought running your head into a bunch of other people every 5 seconds would be bad for you, right? Like,
Well,
Yeah.
like they found in a few sports, like for boxing, when it was bare knuckle, they had a lot less deaths than when they brought gloves in.
yeah,
Because once they brought gloves in, they had that little bit of padding, so, oh fuck, I can hit a little harder now, so they had more concussions, more brain injuries from it, whereas you didn't
Yeah.
rattle people's
Well,
hearts, you'd end up with a
It's
broken
all
fucking
because
fist.
of a thing called CTEs. It's like little brain damage.
Yeah.
And you would have probably found during bare knuckle, people would have like tapped out quicker because like, oh fuck, my jaw's getting
Yeah,
fucked
or
up.
I've got
But
I'm
with the
gonna break
padding-
my fucking hand if I punch him in the skull too hard,
Yeah.
so you had more body hits
So-
than fucking head punches. And
But once you got
with the NFL
gloves on, you're taking.
Oh, so with the NFL, once they
Yeah.
brought in, because they used to only have a leather cap. Once they brought in full helmets and pads, the players also started getting a lot bigger and a lot more mass, a lot more force, and suddenly the brain was getting rattled around a lot more. So
Well, again, it's not even like a lot of people think of it being like the big spear tackles and shit that
No.
fucks people up. It's not. It's
No.
all the little hits.
Yeah.
It essentially you're giving your brain whiplash every time someone gets even slightly tackled.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they're fucking big boys playing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they're not
And-
little fellas running at you. They're like it's like getting hit by a small vehicle or a
Yeah,
fucking
it's
a
six-
large
it's
vehicle in some cases.
6'5" dude who's built like a brick shitter.
Yeah. And you're running straight at him going, well, I guess I'm just going to get knocked the fuck out.
yeah.
I mean, like
You see
they-
these guys
they
coming out, it's like,
mostly-
well, I'm fucked.
Well, I mean, the highest rate of this CTE thing and long-term dementia problems is in the defensive line.
yeah.
Yeah.
The guys who run into each other every play.
Yeah. But,
Like-
like, you still get it in, like, the Australian football, so the NRL and AFL.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of the studies I've seen, there seems to be a lot higher rates in the NFL. Like, in the Australian football, they don't wear they sometimes wear pads, but you don't really get helmets. You might get headgear, but again, it's a small, slightly padded fucking thing that slips over your head. It's not a full fucking helmet.
yeah.
So you can't injure the person running at you as well. But you definitely still get these injuries, but it just doesn't seem to be at the same rate. And I'm wondering if the padding actually has something to do with that.
Yeah, I gotta believe that. Well, given the fact that like gridiron is not dissimilar to the NRL would play here,
Yeah.
it's like
But they're in
the
full
only
armor.
big difference is they're covered in armor,
Yeah.
and okay, sure, I can go ham. This fucking dude who weighs 300 pounds and can run this entire field in 8 seconds, yeah, he's just gonna barrel into someone.
Yeah.
Well, like, there's a bit of an issue with country rugby league or like junior rugby league at the moment, where you see, like, I've got young cousins that play, and like they're fucking good little players, but they're skinny little white boys, and you see some of the young Islander fellas that play, like they're friggin' great players to watch,
Oh, yeah.
but they are big boys. And
Oh, yeah,
they're
they
in
are.
under 8s, and you could quite easily put them in an under 16s, and then they'd be at head height. Like,
Jesus.
just the body type of where they're from. Like, there's a lot of white boys here that are big as well, but they're big in different ways. They just like the cheeseburgers. But I think that's something else that also has to be sort of looked at in a lot of these things. But I don't know. If you can retire at fucking 28 from a Pokemon card, good luck to you.
Oh, 100%. Dude has made the right call.
Yeah, fucking got out early and spent his day buying and trading Pokemon cards.
See, and the fact he made the right call at least means he hasn't had too much of a bad concussion.
No. Hopefully he's had a head knocking just the right way to be able to pick value.
Right. I'm going to have to transition us off this. We're getting dangerously close to being a sports podcast right now.
Sports ball are good.
Overwatch 2 is letting people with prepaid phones join the fucking community.
Yay! We yelled at them enough.
They copped enough flack and they lost enough players. Now they're trying to get supports back in.
It's damage control at this point, isn't it? It's like, we fucked up everything else. We can at least fix this one.
Yeah, so postpaid phone numbers can be used now. As of now, they already put the update out for it. So if you've got a postpaid phone and you wanted to get in but you couldn't because of the phone thing, you're good now.
Now you can go buy a shitty SIM card for your old Nokia 3310 and you back and play Overwatch. Fuck yeah!
The problem is you'll buy the SIM card and pay the fees for that, but then you can't afford the skins.
I mean, I still swear that I think this is the first positive article I've read about Overwatch 2 since it came out.
Yeah.
And it's about them fixing a problem that everyone bitched about when it came out.
Yeah. They fixed a problem that should never have been a fucking problem.
Yeah.
But they sold a Mei skin, a legendary Mei skin, without the character actually being fucking playable for several months.
Yeah.
And won't be playable for another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all they've taken a bunch of them off rotation because they're too broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
They've gone through it. Mei's ice wall apparently could get you into parts of the map you shouldn't have been able to get to.
Yeah.
There are several characters that can get you to these places, but Mei was fucked up. Get rid of her.
Despite boosting with Mei's wall was a main strategy in the original game.
We did it a lot. It was great.
So
popping someone up over a wall they're not supposed to see over with the ice wall was a known strat. Why did you not think people were going to do this in the second one?
You've pretty much conditioned people to play in ways that aren't restricted to your 3-lane fucking map. When they do it, you don't like it. That's just fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Well, that seems to have been their philosophy even back in Overwatch 1, was play the game the way we want you to, or don't play the fucking game.
Pretty much.
But I think that's a big point of it, is because they want it to be an esport.
Yeah.
Which means it has to have consistency, which means they can balance it, instead of just being wacky fun.
Yeah.
Actually, just talking about esports, I remember reading for CSGO, the main sniper rifle everyone loves just got nerfed. They
Oh wow, they dropped the power on the AWP?
They dropped the magazine from 10 to 5.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's still as powerful, but...
Well, now you can't just buy it once and then carry it around through several rounds. Now you've got 5 rounds, so if you tag 5 in one round, you either have to buy it again, which is the most expensive thing in there, so you probably can't afford it again the next round, or it may force people to actually go, oh shit, now I can't carry it over, so I might need to actually play some different fucking guns through it.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but, I mean, eco rounds are a thing in CS, so it's not that bizarre.
No, but
Plus, they just had some major buffs to some of the other guns.
Yeah.
There's another assault rifle, which was underpowered, but now 4 body shots anywhere in the body will kill. And that has become a mainstay within the community. And they're actually, a lot of the pros are questioning whether or not it's too powerful.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's degrading other guns and making them less favorable because, well, hey, I can just spray for the body instead of having to go for a headshot.
And the fact that the pros saying this just makes me think that, people are able to kill us now. Please stop it.
Well, with the reduction of the magazine size in this sniper rifle, there was in the article there was an interview with a few good players and shit, and they had people on their team that was specifically for that rifle. That's once they could afford that rifle, they'd sit and do that. And now they might have had maybe 2 players that were good on that rifle. Now they may only need 1 because they can't use it as much as they could before. So now it's not as valuable. So it changes a little bit, and
Oh, yeah.
a little bit of change, I hope, is good.
Oh, 100%.
Could also be fucking terrible, but hey, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing about the AWP is it's a one-shot kill wherever you shoot.
Yeah.
So, theoretically, you could get an ace with the AWP, you'd just be out of ammo.
Yeah. You just couldn't carry it over into the next round.
Yeah.
So, change it up a
which
little bit.
would essentially be considered your eco round
Yeah.
because you're not getting a new gun. They're essentially just making you actually have to choose to do an eco round
Yeah.
instead of just freebeing it.
Fair.
Yeah, well.
But at least it might prompt a bit of change, which is what we like to see.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
try a new little bit of meta. See what happens.
Well, it always happens. Like, the metas do eventually shake up for any game. Like, hell, Overwatch
Yeah.
went
They
through
need
the
to, or they get
metas.
fucking stale.
Well, Overwatch went through so many meta changes originally when we were still playing. Like, because they'd always take a character as we're playing with this one now. It's like, come back completely changed. Like, well, Lucio meta's dead, on to something else.
Well, the big problem they ran into is they, like... this is why, like, the support thing's a big problem in their current landscape for Overwatch 2. John Doe was telling us before we were recording that there's, like, almost an hour wait times for DPS and tank, but like instantaneous for support.
They're also-
because no one fucking wants to play
They're
support.
also offering extra Battle Pass XP for, like, I think it's 500 XP for your first support run, and an extra 100 XP for your Battle Pass for each support run after that. Or if you play a random character, you get an extra 100 XP, because it's 99 times out of 100 going to drop you in as a support.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 20 minutes or half an hour to 40 minutes for tank, and then 20 minutes plus for DPS. And
Well,
so they're trying to figure a way to get more support. And
I know
one of them
a way.
was
But
to let's make a new support character. Like, why not fix what you've got?
I know how they can fix it. Just put it back to free play, for fuck's sake. Back when it first came out, you could play any combination of characters, and now they've hard limited you into a already meta.
Well, I mean, one, they were trying to combat GOAT,
Yeah.
which was a big problem because the only thing you could play was GOAT. And the other problem is this support problem isn't new.
Yeah.
It was
It's been
still
around for
back
years.
in Overwatch 1, even with free play, because they've been systematically depowering supports for ages. Like, if you remember, Mercy's Fly used to be insanely good.
Oh, yeah.
And then they nerfed it because Mercy's basically figured out how to fly eternally by chaining around heroes.
Pretty much.
So they just float around the battlefield. They were like, no, we don't want you to do that. That's not what we designed.
Yeah.
They also recently, so a little while ago, they removed aim assist for consoles. And they've just brought it back in. So you'll have aim assist in all game modes except competitive. If you're playing on a ladder, you get no aim assist.
Huh.
Oh, good luck, scrubs, with these PC players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, you could play through any other game mode. Like, fuck you, I'm so awesome at this. I'm going to play competitive. Why do I suck now? Oh.
That happens to me on competitive anyway. Just the second I go into competitive, like, why do I suck now? This is weird.
I only played a little bit of the first Overwatch, and I have no interest in playing Overwatch 2. So, these little
here.
bits of information are interesting to me. Like, just the direction they're taking for this new game that is pretty much Overwatch 1.5, give me money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
Look,
played
I'm
Overwatch because I had a set group of friends who were going through it so often. It's like, I always had someone to hang out and play with. I think it's the only reason I stuck with it as long as I did.
I'm still sad, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm pretty sure Gearbox made it. I want to say they did. That it all, like, Overwatch basically decided to murder Battleborn, which was the more interesting game. It had a campaign, it had good, interesting characters, it was clearly leaning on fun over competitive.
Yeah.
I
But
enjoyed
Overwatch
Battleborn. I
with all
played
its-
that
It was
quite a
great.
bit when it
Yeah.
came out.
Holy shit, someone other
Yeah.
than me who played Battleborn.
Yeah. I played it for a fair while. It wasn't... But I kept being pulled back to Overwatch because that's where everyone was.
Yeah, that Blizzard did its thing and just waved its big edict around. Was like
Yeah.
where the real hero
If
shooter.
Battleborn had launched like 6 months earlier, or like just didn't around the same time as fucking Overwatch.
Overwatch moved its release date closer to Battleborn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Battleborn didn't like pick to take on Overwatch. Overwatch moved
Yeah.
to kill it.
which is a fucking dick move. If there had been that separation, they Overwatch still would have got all those fucking players.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But Battleborn would have actually
We had some
had
choice.
a little bit of life to it. It wouldn't have been dead out of the gates.
But, Blizzard doing
Hopefully,
the
it wouldn't
horrible
have been dead out of the
thing.
gates.
Who'd have thought?
Actually,
It-
after the latest Saints Row flop, that's now been given to Gearbox as well.
Yeah, I saw that. God, I can't remember what the fucking company's called. But yeah, the developer for Saints Row is now one of Gearbox's bitch studios.
Yeah.
Yeah. You belong to us now.
Now I'm waiting for the Saints Row cameo in fucking the next Borderlands game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you get a fucking claptrap gun in the next fucking Saints Row.
Yeah. I think I'm done with that series of games as well. I don't think I'll be going back to...
Well, Borderlands.
Yeah.
I loved the first game. I played the second game to death. That, the pre-sequel where you're on the moon annoyed the shit out of me, and I had zero interest in the third one.
The
I
third one I
tried,
got through
just-
in the end, but I had to push.
I played the first one. I liked it. It wasn't bad, but it was a bit rough. The second one was everything you want a sequel of a game to
Oh
be.
yeah, they fixed so
Refinement
much,
of the idea.
made it awesome.
Yeah.
Characters were good. They're still rolling the jokes from that game.
Oh, yeah.
The newest game that was out was Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which is a expansion of a DLC for 2, and they're still trying to do Bud Stallion jokes that are from...
Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
They're still milking that one for the only humor it has, because they haven't made a better joke since.
No.
Pretty much.
And yeah, I played the pre-sequel as well. That was pretty trash. I wasn't that impressed. I played 3, and that was a slog.
It was.
That was not good characters. God, the fucking influencer twins were so annoying. They weren't I didn't want to beat their heads in, because shut up. Something fell on my foot.
You're that
Shut up.
enthralled in it, you need to destroy the world around you.
The influencer twins were terrible. I didn't they weren't hateable in Handsome Jack was hateable because he was a dick.
Yeah.
But you kind of wanted to go beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
These influencer twins, I just never wanted to see again.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Like a
was
general
so done with
influencers, just
Yeah.
go away. I have zero interest
Yeah, I
in
know,
doing
right?
anything that has anything to do with you. I
was the
will
whole
leave
thing,
this
like,
game because of you. I don't want to go
Yeah.
beat you. I don't care. I'm done.
The game was
The
always
only
pushing me to
other-
kill them, but I'm sitting there in the background going, they're not worth the bullet. Can I just go kill
Yeah.
something else?
I know, right? And then the only other game that was any good was Tales from the Borderland, which was made by a different studio.
Yeah.
And I haven't played the new Tales from the Borderlands, but apparently it's not very good.
That's unfortunate.
Oddly enough, it was made by Gearbox.
They seem to make a good first game, a really good second game, and they should do a Valve and be allergic to 3s. Just
Yeah.
don't do a
That's the
third.
thing. Gearbox doesn't really make that much stuff anymore.
No.
And
Yeah.
the stuff they do make isn't very good.
No, they're still hanging on the coattails.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, the quicker we can get fucking Randy out of there, the better. That fucking greasy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Pretty much all they do now is, if it's not written by the characters of Hey Ash, what you playing, it doesn't exist for fucking Gearbox.
They haven't done a writing for that franchise since 2.
I thought, didn't they do part of Tiny Tina's?
They did voice acting. I don't know if they did.
I thought they did writing for it.
I can't remember.
Ashley Birch did the voice
Yeah,
for
I know
Tiny
did the
Tina, but
voice
as far
for-
as
yeah.
I know, her brother, who was the key writer for 2, never came back after 2.
Well, that explains it. I thought he did the writing for Tiny Tina's as well. So, I'm wrong.
Hence why, they keep milking the
Yeah.
one game with good writing, because their new writers are hacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Little angry at Gearbox.
Mildly
I
angry.
never would have thought it. How dare you take a good game series and fuck it up like that?
It's like a shitty version of the Midas touch. Everything they touch turns to shit.
Yes.
The Shiner's touch.
Well, speaking of turning to shit, do we want to talk about FIFA?
Yes.
Guitar. Fucking guitar.
Let's go back
So-
to sports ball.
I know, right? But this is... No, we're not going to talk about the sports ball. We're going to talk about the beer.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah, no, that's
Yes, well,
acceptable.
the beer. Nerds can talk about beer.
So, in Qatar, they have the current stage of the FIFA World Cup. And basically, Qatar's... I don't know what their ruling body is, whether it's a government or something. Basically pressured FIFA into not having any beer in the actual stadium or in the fan zone.
Yeah.
No, and
This is a problem.
It wasn't early.
since-
It was 2 days before the first
Oh,
game.
yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
right up
Yeah.
until that point, you could buy tickets expecting, I'll go watch soccer and I'll have a beer. I'll do what I normally do at a fucking soccer game. 2 days before that is when
Yeah.
they banned it. After everyone had already bought fucking tickets. After they'd sold out of pretty much everything.
After they'd shown up. Because
Yeah.
no one showed up like the day
No,
off.
Yeah.
like,
That's a dick move in and of itself. But
fucking oath.
it gets
The
worse.
big problem, though, is Budweiser had paid to be the guys supplying beer for this event. And now they can't sell a single fucking
We
beer.
are the official beer of this sober event. Oh,
Yeah.
God, no.
They are selling beer, but it's Bud Zero. They're non-alcoholic beer.
Oof.
And it is not selling, apparently. They're selling absolutely
wonder why.
fuck all.
Who the fuck
It
buys
tastes like
zero
shit.
alcohol beer?
Like, you're going to spend more time in the piss of getting rid of it.
Yeah. But
It's really dumb. But at this point, Budweiser is, of course, trying to get FIFA to essentially give them money back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, we can't sell any fucking beer,
Yeah.
so...
Why would we want to
they're
fucking
not
buy
paying
into a
the full
thing that we're
price.
not making anything back from?
yeah, there is no chance of us making money on this now. Give us money.
So currently they're trying to get $70 million back of the fee they paid to be the official beer of
yeah.
FIFA.
'Cause they'd
I
still
think that's
be able to
completely
at least
understandable. Fucking oath.
advertise.
Yeah.
They're well worth getting that back. Because they can still advertise, so they wouldn't get the entire amount back. But 70 sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if you're at an event and you see a big ad for Budweiser, but you can't buy a Budweiser,
Yeah, it's not
that's
great.
not gonna really work, is it?
That is true. And then there's, of course, the other things that were popping up, so...
there's so much shit being hung on this
Yeah.
fucking Qatar World Cup. Like,
I mean, the fact that it seems like they basically bribed the selection committee to give it to them to begin with.
very much so. Like,
Yeah.
there's 5 people that suddenly got multi-million-dollar like accounts that are like, oh, and we're gonna give it to Qatar. Yeah.
And then they
Like-
rushed construction on basically everything.
With indentured
They
servants.
weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
and then
it's a little bit fun.
as-
Then the
part of
places for prayer.
as part of their contract, they have to be able to supply places for various religions, and they decided, no, we're like, yeah, we'll agree to all of that. All right, we've got it. We're building all of our stadiums. No, we're not doing various religions, bro. No one's getting
Yeah.
prayer bar us. Which,
Which is just
come
shitty.
on, like, you're doing a world event. You sort of got to accommodate for the fucking world.
A little bit. Like, this just...
Um,
we've said it before. Just buy Greece. Buy Greece and take it back there.
Yeah,
That's it. Like,
just
put all the
that's where all
sports
sporting
in
events
Greece.
are held. There,
Yeah.
Done.
I mean, I've got some change in the surfer. Let's go. We'll buy Greece ourselves and do it that way.
all they like, whoever has the next World Cup, all they have to do is stand at an airport and give away a beer as they get off the plane, and they are
Yeah.
automatically the best fucking World Cup that's been like since for a while now.
Pretty much.
That's all it would fucking
well,
take.
I do like that Budweiser has offered up the stockpile of beer they're not selling
Yeah.
to whoever wins.
Yeah, like, and that's a pretty decent fucking prize. Like, we've won the World Cup. Budweiser's paying for the fucking party. They're going to supply us with all the beer that would have been sold at this. That is going to be a fucking piss up.
Oh, yeah. I just remembered, though, like, FIFA tends to bankrupt any country it goes to. This might be the first country to bankrupt FIFA.
Yeah,
Like-
where FIFA themselves actually lose money. Well,
Yeah.
not the people who put the World Cup in Qatar. They made out like fucking bandits. But the
Oh, yeah,
company FIFA, because they also EA is no longer making FIFA games anymore. Now it's a EA Associated Associated Football, I think it is. So like, why we now?
Why
have,
don't they just bite the bullet and call it sports ball and lean into
Well,
the meme? Just
that's where soccer comes from. When it left Europe, in America and in various other places, they were no longer football. They called it associated football because they were associated with the game of football, and from there it devolved into soccer. That's why we call it fucking soccer. But it's no longer FIFA, they're calling it Associated Football.
Yeah.
So
like they're very much trying to distance themselves from FIFA.
Yeah,
Because
so-
let's be honest, FIFA's had a bad rap for a while.
So
and they've earned
it's
it.
going to be pretty fucking funny. Like they go through and try and do their ultimate team, and like you can't get the exact players you want, but you can now play as Ronaldo and like just off your dollar store characters.
Yeah.
Like you look at the main characters, and go, oh, how can I fuck up that name and just give them some stats? Oh, let's do this.
That'd be great.
But I mean, like, that's what sports games used to be.
Yeah. So they're going
And
back to
unfortunately,
that.
it's all these, all the studios getting the, like, eternal license. I mean, it's why we don't get a decent, like, not that I play them, but, like, there's never a decent football game because EA has a monopoly on the license for official sim football.
Yeah.
So long as you don't do simulation football, you can do what the fuck you want.
Yeah. So
But football fans want to play simulation games, so all these places that have it stitched up, it's a problem.
yeah, but yeah.
I mean, FIFA's not going to go anywhere anytime soon because, like, in Europe, it's massive.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, they're
But
like a tick.
EA
in
is no
Europe,
longer
green.
producing the FIFA titles. They lost the license apparently.
That's good. EA losing licenses.
Oh,
yes,
fucking
A
oath.
plus
We want
should
more
happen
of that.
more.
Just
Yeah, I know, right?
slowly bleed them. Like, bleed their supply line, and we can take them down.
Like,
Yeah.
as long as like EA is the last headstone on top of the EA fucking graveyard, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, there has to be a fucking EA headstone.
There
For
has
all
to
the
be a
other
reckoning
companies that
coming for
fucking
EA at this
buried.
point.
Why do I feel like all they're doing is, like, the Grim Reaper comes from that for them, and they're like, take this other soul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are the cat.
Here is your sacrifice, oh great lord. They're just sacrificing smaller companies to get more gross input intake every year. It's like, we
I
need to
offer
go
this
up another digit.
sacrifice.
Bring me another studio.
It really feels like that, man.
Fucking
Like,
oath
they
it
have killed
does.
so many decent
Like,
people.
can you imagine like being a small studio? Like, we got an offer to buy someone to buy us. It's EA. Okay, we might as well close up shop now. Just give them the licenses and we'll shut
I'm
down.
pretty sure all that would be is, like, we've been bought by EA. Okay, so what does that get us? Everyone gets a handgun in one round.
The last man standing shoots himself.
Yeah. Speaking of closing up shop, Twitter is getting worse, and I really hope they do
Oh.
soon.
It's getting pretty bad, man. Like, that open letter where Elon Musk was like, we're going to be hardcore for Twitter 2.0.
Yeah.
You're not going to see your families. I want 137%. Oh, that's not how you get people to stay with
No.
your
That's how
fucking...
you
Oh, sorry.
guarantee people leave.
Sorry. It was that, or take 3 months severance and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strangely enough,
It's like-
75% of them went, you know what, fuck it, I'm going.
But he's also come out since then and said, "I don't want to run Twitter. I want to like get it stable and get someone else in here." Like,
Yeah, he wants.
Yeah.
He's shopping around for a new CEO.
yeah,
At this point, any older CEO is going to be like, nah,
yeah,
and back
it's
away
like,
from it. But
fuck no.
you might get some
I'm pretty
idiotic
sure that-
young pup who'll go, I'll give it a shot, and if I win big. If I lose, I blame him.
No, the best thing that could happen is some old dude who gets some truckload of money rolled up to his house and goes, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll let you burn me, but I've already got my truckload of money.
Yeah.
Just some dude sitting in the back of the place with a cigar going, yep, this shit is burning down.
like some old guy who really doesn't understand technology at all, and like,
You mean Elon?
yeah, well, his great grandfather who just sits on the
Someone
board
who, when
and-
they accept the job, is like, yes, I'll run the Twitters.
where do you keep the birds? How many pigeons do we need for this business?
Oh, I can see it happening. And I kind of hope that's the final nail in the coffin.
If that's what all it ends up fucking being is just a pigeon shed out the back.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Quite honestly, watching all these billionaires slowly creep closer to just being millionaires is delightful.
But
I'm
even
okay
like
with that.
Bezos is trying to save face, saying, "I'm going to give away all of my money. Stop thinking I'm an asshole." Like, but
Is he
you're
going to
still an
give it
asshole.
to his employees? I mean, that might be a start.
No, I think.
Yeah, that'd be a great
I think the
start.
charities he's going to give it to is like the Buy Bezos Lunch Fund.
This charity, conveniently run by my wife.
Yeah. There is no nepotism.
Well, I mean, I can link you a video that is really detailed on how they do that sort of stuff with charities.
Yeah.
It's by a guy I really like called Adam Conover. He ran a show called Adam Ruins Everything.
One of my favorite shows.
They did yeah, I know, right? Basically, because it picked up the ball that Penn and Teller's bullshit left on the field.
Such a good show.
Unfortunately, even Adam Ruins Everything has finished. He's working on other projects, but he's now doing stuff on his own YouTube, and he did a big one about how billionaires use those charities to basically not do what they're supposed to.
Yeah. Like,
I might link it in the show notes because it's actually a very interesting watch.
I would like to watch that.
Yeah, so I'll send it to you and I'll put it in the show notes.
Cheers, bud.
Yeah, it's really good. Billionaires are doing some dodgy shit.
Really?
The big one in the video.
Tell you, I never
big
would
one
have
in the
thought
video
of
that, like cliff notesing it. Like I said, I'll link the video. Essentially, a billionaire that he describes how they do the whole process. Essentially, takes all his wealth and goes, "I'm going to put all of this in this charity. What does that charity do? Maybe something. And I'm going to give the voting shares that I own to my kids. So I pay a insignificant amount of money to give them my voting shares, and all the rest of it's in this company. Now, this charity is able to do things because of the special way it's set up, like donate to super PACs and political stuff. So essentially, he's given his kids the ability to control a charity whose entire function is to influence politics.
Yeah.
Tax-free.
Yay.
That's what a lot of these I'm putting it in charity do. They don't do charity stuff.
That's just like starting your own church so you can get money fucking tax-free with...
Yeah, that really, it is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely that sort of shit. It's fucked.
Because if Bezos
It's
wanted
really
to,
fucked.
like, if he cared about his reputation the way he is now trying to cover for it, he would just pay his workers a livable wage and not treat them like indentured servants. Like,
Yeah.
people have to live in tents out the front of the fulfillment centers just to fucking survive. That's fucked up.
The fucking people shitting in a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having to pee in bottles because they can't leave the floor.
That's fucked. That's just fucked up.
Yeah. Like,
And then all of that for barely enough money to, eat lunch.
Yeah. But you couldn't even buy anything off the website for the money you get fucking paid for working for the website.
pretty much.
Yeah. Despite the fact that they're constantly trying to automate the system with robots, which are killing people.
Yeah. The robots have actually killed a fair number of people, which is not good.
It's bullshit. Basically, again, in the Adam Conover video, he points out there is no accidental billionaires.
Yeah.
Every billionaire is designed.
Yeah.
Don't believe any of the humble billionaire crap.
No. Like, none of them start from nothing. They all start with a small loan of thousands of millions of dollars from someone.
Well, even if they don't start with that loan, they did something to get to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like, you could conceivably make, a couple $100,000. Cool. Maybe you could, you could win the lotto and become a millionaire.
Yeah.
But,
Like,
even
there
the
is
bloke in
random-
the States who won $3 billion in the lotto ended up with less than $1 billion once he pays all his fucking taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? But my point is simply that it's potentially possible to luckily become a millionaire. There is no luck involved in becoming a billionaire.
There is
Once you start
strategy.
on that path, you destroy lives. That is the only way to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is...
And even if one could argue, oh, I didn't do it, my dad did, but you're still a billionaire.
Yeah.
You didn't stop being a billionaire, which means you kept treading
Yeah.
on people.
Yeah. You can't remain a billionaire. That shit funnels away quick. You have to
Yeah.
actively do bad things, essentially, to maximize profits to keep going. It's like, no.
Yeah. So, I'm happy to watch Twitter burn and take Elon Musk down.
Yeah.
I'm happy to watch Bezos get shit on. These people aren't good people.
Yeah.
They are hurting people to be who they are and think it's fun.
Though,
Yeah.
the ultimate thing that could have happened was, Bezos' flight to the fucking lower atmosphere if we had a fucking Challenger disaster, just out it goes. And,
Yeah.
particularly if he had quite a fortune, in the back of the cockpit, so as it went off, it just started raining dollar bills, and people just oh my god, he's paying out. Maybe more
The
pay out
pinata
like
finally
pinatas.
popped!
Let's beat more of them up. Let's see if more of them pay out.
I mean, what was it? Once he got back from that trip, they cracked open, sprayed around a bottle of champagne, and then threw it over the side.
Yeah.
That cost more than the yearly salary of his workers.
Yeah.
It's he's a horrible human being and is bad. I just like the fact that NASA changed the height requirement for being an astronaut just to fuck him.
Just to fuck him.
Yeah.
Just to fuck him.
Like that's a
I know
level
we
of
talked about
petty
this
I
last week,
aspire
but-
to.
Yeah,
If
that's.
I can one day be that petty
Like,
and just ruin someone's day.
You have to add
That's
that to the
the
scale. That's NASA level petty. Like,
Yeah.
you can only
that's
be
like, you
NASA
spent-
for that level of petty.
Like you spent all this time, all this money from destroying people's lives to go to space. Cool. We're gonna raise the bar a bit. Fuck you.
Look,
You
man,
didn't make
that
it
guy-
to space.
That dude can do a whole bunch of fucked up shit, get to the pearly gates, St. Peter's going to be standing there, you did all this shit. Yeah, but I stopped Bezos being an astronaut. Come on in, bro.
We've got people that want to shake your hand.
And they're going to start with Neil Armstrong and be followed up by Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah. Jeebus is in
Buzz
third
Aldrin
going,
once.
fucking well done, bud.
Yeah. Fucking- the fact that Buzz Aldrin punched the hell out of a guy, like a journalist, for saying the moon landing never happened.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Champion that is Buzz Aldrin.
Well, we made it out past an hour.
Oh, shit.
So I think we're done for the week.
Yeah.
Somehow we made it.
We were
All it
concerned
takes is
we
a
wouldn't have
bitch
things to
session.
talk about. And then we got angry about
Well,
things.
we did spend something like 30 minutes bitching about Pokemon.
It needed
We're nerds, so
it.
it's
It
always
really
gonna
fucking
happen.
needed
Yes,
it.
it did.
And then
Had
we
to be
did
said.
sports ball. You could almost call this a sports episode.
Yeah.
We're hitting
know,
more
right? It's a bit
demographics.
weird.
Yay.
I mean, I'm going to be able to put in the show tags, things like FIFA.
Oh, yeah.
We'll trap people.
Yeah.
They won't know it's not a sports thing.
I feel
World
bad
Cup
for those people who
2022. Fuck yeah.
If any of those people have made it this far, welcome. You're stuck with us now.
We are sorry.
We got a
but fuck
backlog.
you.
Enjoy it. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.
See ya.